right, let's get into this trailer breakdown. This is the mid-season trailer. We're going to go through it shot for shot. We start off this trailer with a balls in competition. Now, this is one of the reasons why I thought this trailer was really effective. It's from a very high distance. You can't see really the size of both competitors. You can't see the names on the helmet, but you can definitely tell this is a balls in, especially after watching the Challenge Australia when we've already seen balls in happening already. But really good job on the Challenge 38 editing team to not do a zoom in or anything for us to really get to piece who is in this elimination. We have Chauncey here, and Chauncey says, as he is crying, says, I don't want to let my team down, but if you go home, then I let you down. And of course, he is talking to Amber. I think Chauncey is going to have a difficult time with being on a different team. He came in as her ride or die, wanting to work with her, wanting to help get her that second challenge win, get a good pile of money, and then head out and have a great vacation, have a good life, maybe buy her a ring. But now that they're on separate teams, I think Chauncey is going to be having a little bit of like different emotions wagering in on him because he comes from an athletic background where he wants to win and he wants to do right by his team. He wants to be safe in this game, but he knows if he wins, that puts Amber in danger. But I love Amber's face here where it's like, it's a game. Like that's the kind of vibe I get from Amber's face was just like, it's a game. It's going to be fine. Casey is talking to her brother, Kenny, saying same blood, different team. So Casey is again leaning on the fact that they are siblings. Can I just say, first of all, I don't know what he's eating. But second of all, he looks like he's so oblivious. He's just like, yeah, same blood, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know how to take Kenny seriously. Let's just be real. Here's Nelson, and we hear a voiceover of him saying, maybe I'm part of the team or this team, but there's a team within the team, and that hurts me, which makes me feel like team within a team. Now, let's try to break this down. Who is on his team? Fessel, Bananas, Nelson, Chauncey. The women are Olivia, Tori, Anissa. So who is the team within the team? Could we believe that it is Nelson, Olivia, maybe Fessel, and everybody else is against him to where, Casey, that's right. I even forgot Casey was on this team. I think this is where we get the politics of the team within the team. And maybe this is a look into how eliminations are set up, that if you lose a daily challenge, that your team gets to come together and maybe talk about who they're throwing in, and kind of like, I don't know, I guess like War of the Worlds 2, where it's the winning team gets to put in somebody from the losing team, while the losing team also gets to vote in somebody from their own team, you know? I think that's going to be the way eliminations are done. And so that's where Nelson is maybe thinking about like, oh man, now we got to think of numbers within our own numbers. We get to see his whole team. And look at this, all of Fessel's members, nobody is ready for an elimination tonight, which makes me think that Mariah's team loses the first daily. Maybe this isn't the first daily that Mariah loses. This could be the third. Maybe Fessel's team is so good they have not lost a daily challenge throughout this whole season or whenever, and they've just had 8 members this whole time, and it's just absolutely demolishing Mariah's team. This is an elimination. This is like if anybody watches Survivor, if anybody remembers, for the past couple of seasons, they've had this giant jungle gym. Well, the whole thing is you have to run, grab a puzzle, and you have to get back to the podium in different ways. You have to like do a tightrope walk. You have to crab walk on a cargo net. There's one section where you have to cross a bridge, but you can only use like 2 or 3 planks, and you have to use, kind of like what they were doing with the barrels this past week. If you're thinking of that, what I think that this challenge is you have to get up this rope ladder that's on an angle, and you have to keep moving this bar up in order to get to the end, and the first player to get to the end wins. That's just what I think. And I think I know who is doing this first elimination to be somebody who has jet black hair, which makes me believe that this could be, I guess it could be Nerys. I think Mariah is doing this. Or Nani. I forgot about Nani. Either way, somebody from Team Mariah, I think, is doing this elimination. I think I hear Horacio saying, stay calm, stay calm. Here's the daily challenge or nightly challenge. There's 2 nightly challenges. This one looks pretty cool. The other one looks really, really sick. This one looks to be a challenge where you have to traverse the side of a building. One player has to walk backwards. The other player has to guide them while holding on to them. Reminds me of the War of the Worlds, season 33, when I think it was done much better, but the players were up on that big rig, and one player had the goggles that were blacked out, and the person behind them was able to see where they were going to go. That one was really cool. I wish they would do that one again. Yeah, here it is. As you can see, there's little bumps. There's a little walkway. This one looks interesting. This one looks very simple. I hope it's good. I hope it's exciting. This is an elimination, and it reminds me of the one from Final Reckoning. And it's the one where Ashley and Hunter came into the game and was facing off against Angela and Faith, where they had to punch the holes through the wall and then jump through the wall. Look at that mouth. I think that's Horacio in this one. And he is Hulk smashing through this board. I was zooming in, trying to see if I could look at the lettering. I believe wholeheartedly that that is Horacio. I wonder who he's going up against, because that's going to be really, really cool to go up against. Speaking of Horacio, this is Jordan and Horacio still on the same team. And this is the daily challenge where they're holding on to the helicopter. I don't know why I had to mime it, but boom, they're holding on to the helicopter, and then they have to jump in to get all these points. I'm very interested to see how Jordan does this one, because I didn't even think of Jordan doing this helicopter hold. If he is holding on with one hand, that would be so impressive. This is where TJ is talking and saying, this is a very special night. Bring them out. This is where we see people walking out. All right, so let's talk about this, right? So people saw this scene, and a lot of people instantly thought of Mercenaries, right? I totally understand it. I can totally see where you're thinking of Mercenaries. We had heavy hitters coming into the season early on, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. But this is my thing. So everybody, I think, didn't like Battle of the Bloodlines because of the elimination setup. So my thought process was that they're going to try to trick everybody up in the main cast, right? So what they're going to do is say, all right, it's going to be solo eliminations, and your ride or die could leave this game. So what's going to happen? Let's say they send in Kenny and Horacio first. Kenny leaves. Kenny goes. He's out. Casey saying, oh, I really am sad to see my brother go. Then we're going to have another elimination. We're going to see, I think, 2 men and 2 women leave. So this whole 2-team thing is going to last for 4 weeks, right? And on the 4th week, that's when TJ is going to be like, I'm so sorry I'm so sorry you lost tonight or something. Like, how did that feel? And they're like, oh, I'm just so sad to leave. And I'm sad that I'm leaving my sister here or whatever. And then all of a sudden, that's when TJ is going to go like, well, this is a very special night. Bring them out. And the already lost ride or die pairs will walk back into the game, and they're going to do like a redemption style game. Either they're going to have to face off against each other, one-on-one, or they're going to allow their ride or die partners to join them in the elimination, and they're going to have to face off against each other to save both of their lives within the game. That's what my prediction is, because they're not going to want to send 2 people home every single night, but it makes no sense because this game is going to go back into pairs. And I just don't think that they're going to mix match ride or die pairings. We'll see how that's going to go. And I'll also back up that theory when we get further into the trailer. All right, so we have this bus one, the runaway ride, as we saw on the Challenge Australia. Who could that be? It's Amber. So there's Amber, and then you can see in the very back, Chauncey is doing this game with her. Again, weaving back and forth with this bus. We saw this with the Challenge Australia, so we kind of got spoiled via the Challenge Australia. We also got spoiled with the Challenge Australia for another daily challenge that we're going to see very, very soon. They showed this again because they wanted to show Tori talking to Nerys, where Tori says, "I would have never snuggled your ex in front of you." Devin is looking on. Don't think this is the same area, same room. This just is taken out of different scene. This is interesting. So we have another Chauncey pick here, clearly outside in the gym area. And then if we move, we see Amber and hear her saying, "I feel betrayed by you." This picture, or the way this is edited, makes us want to believe that Amber is talking to Chauncey. Could she be talking to Chauncey? Of course. There's always that possibility. I just don't know if she 100% is talking to Chauncey. It could be somebody else. This is a very nice scene. Horacio is handing Olivia some flowers. Maybe he's trying to make up for their fight that they had. Maybe Nelson wants to ask Olivia to be his girlfriend. Don't jump to any conclusions. I watched a lot of Love Island, and they do this crap on Love Island, all right? I don't know. But maybe Horacio is like starting things off, kicking things off by being like, "Here's a flower and here's a note," and then she has to follow all the different places of where her and Nelson like kissed or something. The first time we saw each other, go to the front door or something like that. We can also see Bananas is sitting here looking at the flowers. Maybe it's her birthday. And as we can see, I'm thinking that this is a print party. I don't know what to call it, because I was going to say it is animal themed party, because they're both wearing similar patterns. But then you have Chauncey back here in that sweater. Like, man, that sweater. Horacio and Amber, they're hanging out. And we get Jordan. I think it's Jordan. A voiceover from Jordan saying, "This is no place for love." So what does that mean? What does that mean? And why is this shown? What does that mean? So is he talking about himself, or is he talking about maybe some foreshadowing with Nelson and Olivia? They don't follow each other on social media anymore, so maybe that's a big thing. All right, this is interesting right here. See this? See this? This is Not So Fast with Kenny facing off in an elimination, Not So Fast. Does that mean they are able to make it past the team settings, the team stages, and are then paired back up? How is that possible? If Team Mariah loses, that Kenny is not the first one in and out. That's why I think that possibly there's a redemption house where that's when TJ is like, "This is a special night." They bring back the 4, and then they get to face off against each other. This is the helicopter daily challenge where they have to hold on to the helicopter, drop into the squares. All the different squares are different points. We'll have to see how that one's going to go. That one seems pretty cool. Look at that name on the bottom. Look at the name. Fessel. Team Mariah is in street clothes. We got Nani. We got Horacio. We got Fessel in the elimination. And guess what? We know who he's going up against later on in this trailer. That's Jordan puking during a daily challenge. Look at this. Can you see? Can you read? Everybody, can you see this? Can you see who's there? Can you see that's SON at the end of that helmet? That's right, everybody. We got Nelson versus Fessel in this elimination. In the balls to the wall elimination. They're facing off against each other. Does this look familiar? If you have watched the Challenge Australia, this is, I can't remember, Brain Freeze, the daily challenge where they had to jump into the ice bath and then have to put together the puzzles. So I think that they're playing this where everybody is back paired up with their ride or dies. As we can see, Nani is here trying to go underneath that wall that was scraping all the backs of all the Australian players. This is another nightly daily challenge, or this is elimination. This could be elimination. This reminds me of Banded Together from Battle of the Exes season 22. I can't see Kenny here. This is Casey. And she is running, and it looks like she has resistant bands on her back. And we'll see somebody else that is also doing this. I don't think it's an elimination. It could be an elimination. This is Devin saying, if we don't leverage this power, it'll be a fatal error. So does that mean that Team Mariah wins into power, can vote in somebody possibly, because we don't know how eliminations go, but my assumption is that the winning team will be able to vote in one person from the opposite team. So this is possibly Devin after a daily challenge where Team Mariah wins, and he's saying, if we don't leverage this power, it'll be a fatal error. Or this could be after teams have already been dismembered. Maybe Devin and Tori were able to make it past the team stage. They're paired back together. They win a daily challenge, and now they're saying, we gotta use this power. We gotta leverage some powers. Then we get these different shots of everybody. Now, there's a lot to break down in this one, because you got Chauncey with a helmet on. Either he's doing a daily challenge or he's doing an elimination that needs a helmet. Then you have Horacio, who is in a bedroom, probably being talked to, maybe being told that he's going to be the one voted into the elimination or something like that. And he is not very happy about it. And then you see that their opacity is like at 60%. And you can see it looks like a big rig. It looks like one of those like oil drill places on the ocean, but it's all orange. I mean, where is this? I don't even remember seeing anything like this in any of the other trailers. This is still in the montage scene. You can see Anissa is here. Maybe Team Fessel won. Looks like they're in the deliberation. Tori is looking pretty melancholy, as she is what I assume is like sitting in her room. This is nuts. When? How? Why? What? Olivia is holding her nose as blood is just seeping from her hands. My gosh, what could make you, what? I mean, let's be real. That's all of our exact faces. If this wasn't Fessel making this face, this would be an emoji in the Discord. I don't even know if I want to say this. I just want to say that if you see something particular in this photo, this could be a huge, huge, huge spoiler. For the sole fact that he does have a water pack on. We have Bananas, who says, you take Devin out of the equation and we dominate this team. Team Fessel wins the daily challenge, and then Bananas instantly wants to throw Devin directly into the elimination. This is what I think is going to be a brawl bridge. Yo, I just thought about it. If it's not called a brawl bridge, because it could be called a drawbridge, but then it's a brawl bridge. On this daily challenge, it looks like it's two places where it's all the team's people, where it's like all the women from one team, all the women from the other team are going to have to go and try to like push each other off and make it to the other side. This is from other previous trailers. This is clearly Olivia. This is clearly Olivia. And I think that is clearly Nani. Kind of pushes Nani off. It looks like something flies off of Nani. She hits hard into the water where she gets put into a neck brace. This is where we hear the start of TJ saying, everyone pack your crap. Now, this is a weird edit. This is editing magic. They're Frankenbiting, where they hear everyone pack your crap, and then right afterwards, but in a slightly different tone, you hear TJ say right afterwards, you can no longer continue without a partner. And then we get this of Casey. So now the editing is trying to make us feel like Casey is out, or Nani is out. Casey is hearing this, and she's going to be downtrodden to hear that. But what if actually Kenny gets hurt? And Kenny has to be taken out of the game. And because it's now a back to partner game and Kenny is out, that's why Casey is really, really upset. So they're trying to make us do a swap around of thinking, whoa, we can hear who I think is Anissa saying WTF when hearing TJ say that. We also see Horacio putting his head in his hands. Maybe TJ is saying that to Horacio. And he's talking because Olivia got hurt. We just saw her hurt like not too long ago. Maybe that's it. Or maybe it is Kenny. Maybe it is Nani. Tori is here and she's just like shocked. Look at this. Look at this daily challenge. Look what they erected in the middle of a cornfield. And they make people like run around like where they're playing like extreme laser tag or something. This is cool. This is a really cool. To me, this was one of the coolest. This is like Squid Game. I think this looks really, really cool. And I just don't know what it could be. We hear TJ ride or dies. And then we get a close-up of him talking to a microphone, which then again adds to the atmosphere, adds to the vibes. And then TJ says in the overcom, says, your fate in this game is at stake. Could this be a purge challenge? Maybe this is a purge challenge really close to the finals. This looks so cool. This looks like out of a horror movie. This just looks so like, this is awesome. This is so cool. I don't know what could be happening, but this looks like a really, really interesting. But I do think that this is something that has to do with maybe a possible purge. So maybe like a couple of people come back. So again, to my theory of possibly this is solo eliminations, then people can come back, win themselves back into the game, and then they're back to being paired up into pairs. Maybe one or two teams come back, one or two pairs are paired back up after they had already been eliminated with their ride or die, and then they get to come back. And then now we're one step away to the finals, because this makes sense to me in the way that, so if you have 5 teams left, if everybody goes back into pairs and you only have 5 teams left, right? If you only have 5 pairs left, whoever wins doesn't have to make a decision realistically at all. I guess they would have to, like, if it goes back to nominating 4 people and then sending one person directly in, and then there's a draw. I mean, you are trying to send somebody into the last elimination, but ultimately you don't really have to make a decision into who to nominate. You're not really backstabbing anybody to nominate. You do get to throw somebody into elimination, but other than that, that's all you have to do is make a decision of who you're throwing into the last elimination, where I think this could be where the last bit is a purge, where the last final 5 teams duke it out to where you don't want to come in last place after Bananas is cheering on himself for gaming the system, for throwing so many challenges that, oh, I don't have to win it because there's no consequence of coming in last place. Well, now there is a consequence to coming in last place, and you can't come into last place or you're not making it to the finals, which I think could be interesting. But I just really like the vibe of this nightly challenge. Look at that. What is that? That is Squid Game. That looks huge. This is a scene that's right in between people running in the cornfields and then the logo. Very similar to what we saw Casey doing earlier on in this trailer. You see there's another band right next to them. And then somebody's already on the ground right here. And then there's Chauncey, and he has the same team color as Casey's helmet. So they're doing this, what I assume, they're doing this team nightly challenge while still in teams. I'm very hyped for this particular daily challenge. So I'm very, very excited. But that is it. So how's everybody feeling after the shot for shot trailer breakdown about the season? If anybody has any feelings about what they saw in the trailer, are you a little bit more excited about some of the scenes? What are you the most excited about that you saw in the trailer breakdown or anything like that? Let me know.